Kia ora, I'm David Chaston with 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz. This is to get everything you need to know in 90 seconds at 9 o'clock. With news, we're starting to see more overt political responses to economic pressures, from oil and gas to food ingredients, and these will all magnify inflationary problems. But first, there was another sizable fall in mortgage applications last week in the US, coinciding with a sharp rise in mortgage interest rates. That has taken overall mortgage activity to an historically low zone. Brokers are reporting mortgage interest rates have now risen back to 2009 levels, and the shift has been fast. In their wider economy, inventories at both wholesale and retail levels remain little different from recent levels, although the small gains are accumulating as global supply chains force more resilience into these systems. They're also increasing because economic activity is increasing, and that may in fact be the greater reason. Certainly is sucking in imports. In March, US imports rose a rather remarkable 24% year on year as domestic demand stays very strong. Some of that will be cost increases, but most will be volume. US exports rose a healthy 18% on the same basis and to a record high, and that would normally be a stellar result, but it is overshadowed by that leap in imports. And the fastest rise in imports are for industrial supplies and not consumer goods, as is usually assumed. Capital goods imports rose fast too. Their goods trade deficit remains about 5% of US GDP and will be reduced when the services surplus is announced. And China reported a strong rise in industrial profits in the March quarter, but that was mostly from the mining sector, that's coal and oil. Factory profits fell. This distortion has Beijing's attention, and it announced major new infrastructure spending, especially noting that funds are being redirected to national security in the face of extreme conditions at home. Unlike similar prior announcements, there is no mention this time of financial stability. This seems to be an all-out effort to recover in an economy that is now withering as they battle the spread of Omicron. In Germany, an updated survey of consumer sentiment there tanked. It came in far lower than what was expected and the lowest reading on record as the war in Ukraine hit household budgets and dashed hopes of their post-pandemic recovery. And Australian headline inflation jumped to 5.1% in the year to March, the highest annual level in more than 20 years. Economists said a May rate hike was now in play because it came in far above the 4.6% rate expected. That is a rate hike for them next week and in the middle of their election campaign. Worse, the March quarter rate was up 2.14%, so the recent jump in prices is running far higher than the annual rate suggests. Even their trimmed mean rates came in higher than expected. This data will probably have strong echoes in New Zealand yields, keeping them elevated. The US Treasury 10-year yield starts today up 6 basis points at 2.82%, and the price of gold starts today down $9 at $1,891 an ounce. And oil prices are little change today at just under $102 a barrel in the US, while the international Brent price is just over $105 a barrel. And the Kiwi dollar will open today softer again at 65.6 US cents. Against the Australian dollar, we're soft too at 91.9 Australian cents. But against the euro, we're marginally firmer at 62 euro cents. That all means our trade-weighted index starts today at 72.7 and little change since this time yesterday. We welcome your feedback. Leave a comment below or on our website. Kia ora, I'm David Chaston. That was 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz.